Fuck that, fuck that, fuck that, fuck that, fuck
There's still argument about whether it is poetry or not. In him is the restlessness of the seeker, the questioner, the explorer of far horizons, the hunger that is never satisfied. In him also is the tough strength that has never been fully met, never unleashed, the resilience of youthfulness which wells from within and which no aging can destroy. Besides, I love him.
Well, all right. Good morning, everybody. This should disappear in a second if I can't get it to move first. What the hell's going on? There we are. Hey, what's happening? Welcome to your morning edition. My name is Steve Boykin, and I'm in Central California kicking it, trying to figure out what's up with the camera here. Looks like my head's chopped off and I haven't moved anything yet. That's a little weird. Anyway, great to be here this morning. Got a good show. Our friend John F. O'Donnell, former Redacted Tonight correspondent, will be with us in about a half an hour. And until then, got plenty to talk about. Oh, good Lord. Wow. It's going to be a good show. I will do that, Hamza. Let me run through the business first and get us kicked off, get that out of the way. The QR code that you see in the top corner there belongs to Matrix Bars. They sponsor the show. Matrix Bars are 3.5 grams psilocybin mushrooms per delicious chocolate bar. And you can get your very own by scanning that QR code or by hitting them up on Twitter or Instagram at Matrix Genetics, MatrixGenetix. We have t-shirts. They're freaking awesome and super comfortable. You can get your very own by going to Truth Revolution Clothing. It's truthclothing.io. We're in the partners section along with Last American Vagabond and Lift the Veil. Or you can order directly from the website by going to truthclothing.io/collections/SlowNewsDay. All of the donate links are up and working. We just passed the halfway mark on our GoFundMe. We have a handful of days left on the month for that. So if you can, please do throw a couple of bucks at it. If not, please share the link. It definitely helps. And it's the only way we get to keep doing the show. Share it around if you can, please. With that, yeah, Hamza's correct. The High Court in London is going to issue their decision on Julian Assange's appeal at 10:15 a.m. London time. Probably not going to go live at 2 o'clock in the morning for that, but probably will put out an extra short show just around that at some point tomorrow. I probably won't be regular time, but I definitely will get a video out about that tomorrow. And the Assange vigils are running on Fridays now, so you will be able to do that. Hey, if you can get me Roger Waters, do that. Missy, it would be 5 a.m. for you. London's +5 where you are. It's +8 where I am. But yeah. I mean, I've done it. I did it for a month. I was waking up at 1:30 in the morning to do live court coverage starting at 2 a.m. I would do that till 8 a.m. Then I would go work as a carpenter for 6 or 8 hours. And then I would come back and I would do more live coverage. Yeah, I'm like, I get it. I do. I don't know. Maybe we'll just get sleepy, all jacked on coffee all night. We'll just be up at 2. I don't know. We'll see. A lot could go on with that, but yeah, for sure, absolutely. Spurs, if you can get me Roger Waters, got him on, got his number, something like that, man. Call that motherfucker up, say, hey, Raj, got a show for you. I would love to talk to him. I would. It's not like I haven't tried. It's not like I haven't reached out in the circles that I'm currently in. But yeah, I agree. The day before the hearing is announced, it would make more sense to, but yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you guys do you guys actually think that like a show with like 15,000 subscribers on Rockfin has Roger Waters on speed dial like that? Because I want to be that fucking cool, dude. I do. That'd be rad. That'd be kick ass. I would enjoy that sort of level of mobility. I don't know. I don't even think that's the right way to phrase it. Anywho, let's see. Where are my stories I can do on YouTube? You know what? While we're talking about Julian Assange, we'll go ahead and pull this clip. There's a lovely little clip from our friend Matt Orfala. Bob Woodward of Washington Post fame. I guess today's going to be the day for fucking jackasses and masterclass. I guess that's it. Yeah. You'll see. So Bob Woodward, well, I'll quote Orff here. Bob Woodward teaches his masterclass students to sneak national defense information. If you can get someone at the NSA or CIA to plug your hard drive into their computer, you can get all kinds of important information. This is quite literally what Julian Assange has been targeted for. So let's hear the allowable guy, the guy who, you can apparently give state secrets and violate the Espionage Act too, which opens up a whole new set of questions about Bob Woodward, and Watergate, all kinds of other things. Let's hear what he has to say for himself.
Thumb drive can contain so much material, and if you can get somebody to plug your thumb drive into their computer, say at the National Security Agency or the CIA, you could get all kinds of important information.
Damn! Yeah, we're just getting started.
I love Orff. He does great work. So Bob Woodward casually telling people, by the way, Vegan Succubus, thank you for the compliment last night. I did see that. You're funny. And by the way, it doesn't hurt every once. Never mind. Save that shit. So Bob Woodward gets to, sit there not being tortured in Belmarsh prison and tell whoever's signing up for his masterclass that probably not anybody that's, worth a shit is actually signing up for masterclass from Bob Woodward. But he gets to sit there and be like, yeah, dude, encourage the source you cultivated at the NSA to plug a hard drive into their computer. Now, what Bob Woodward is going to do is get somebody sentenced to prison over that. Because, well, actually, I don't know. I can't say because I did not sign up for Bob Woodward's masterclass, so I don't know how much time he spends on source protection and what the role of the journalist is as far as source protection goes. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I see. So, okay. I kind of wanted to save that for John. I think I'll do that. I will play this though. Let's stay with Julian Assange. Hamza, I appreciate you. Because there is a summit for democracy that is taking place internationally. And there's like 6.5 minutes of opening remarks from Defense Secretary Antony Blinken. We're going to listen to some of it. We're definitely going to add some comments regarding because this guy really is the perfect fucking face of U.S. imperialism. He really is. You could not have a better representative of the kind of bent, puny, crooked, twisted, fucking evil little gremlins that run around DC.
Thank you, Agnes, and thank you for the critically important efforts of Amnesty International around the world. I'd also like to recognize your courageous and rigorous work.
Now, I realize that's probably just the camera, but that really does look like a demon lizard eye. And I mean, it's early. I've only had a cup of coffee. Did take a couple of bong hits right before I go on screen, but I'm pretty sure I'm looking at an actual demon right now.
During your tenure as the United Nations Special Rapporteur on extrajudicial executions, particularly on the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi.
Really? Because I hope now that you're going to bring up Special Rapporteur on Torture, who has a lot to say about beleaguered, incarcerated, illegally and arbitrarily detained journalist and publisher Julian Assange. Please continue, Anthony Blinken.
I'm grateful to the Netherlands and Foreign Minister Nappen for hosting this event with us and for stepping up to co-chair the Media Freedom Coalition this coming year. A special thank you as well to our current co-chair, Canada, for its leadership, and to Minister Joly for joining today. Most important, I'd like to recognize the extraordinary work of journalists and media workers around the world. That includes the Nobel Peace Prize laureates participating in this event, Maria Ressa, Dmitry Muratov, and all the journalists watching today. Your reporting plays an indispensable role in informing the public, holding governments accountable, and telling stories that otherwise would not be told, all of which is critical to the health of democracies like ours. And yet, as we all know, for too many journalists, doing this work means having to endure threats, harassment, attacks. According to the Committee to Protect Journalists, 23 journalists have been killed for their work in 2021, and scores more have been attacked. More than 350 journalists are currently being imprisoned in connection to their work, according to Reporters Without Borders. Of course, these aren't the only ways press freedom is under assault. Governments are using libel, defamation, and counterterrorism laws to go after reporters who shine a spotlight on corruption and abuse. Last year, nearly...
Hang on. I'm seeing in the Rockfin chat that you can't hear Blinken. Let me know. Let me know. Can you actually hear the dude? Tell me in the chat, and then I'll push play again. Because I saw one person in the Rockfin chat say that they couldn't hear him, but normally you guys light me up if it's all of you. So it would be cool. Oh, that's right. We're on like a 30-second delay. Okay. Good deal. Thank you. I will go back to the thing. I don't know what's up and why the one person can't hear, but let's...
20 countries passed overly broad and vague laws related to the COVID-19 pandemic, which they have used to crack down on journalists under the pretext of combating misinformation.
So he's totally misrepresenting what happened. I'm going to back this up because this is a hell of an overstep, and he's using Reporters Without Borders numbers. He's talking about the almost 1,100% increase in attacks on U.S. journalists in 2020, and he's attributing it to COVID when it was the BLM George Floyd shit and everything that went on thereafter. Fucking Anthony.
Are currently being imprisoned in connection to their work, according to Reporters Without Borders.
The nerve of this fucking piece of shit to talk about imprisoned and fucking targeted journalists when Craig Murray just got the fuck out of prison for the made-up journalistic crime of breadcrumbing. And Julian Assange is in fucking Belmarsh. And yeah, he can cite, I guarantee you that none of the journalists in the West, they'll attribute it to Trump or something. I don't know. Fucking these fucking pieces of shit, dude. Hey, duh.
Of course, these aren't the only ways press freedom is under assault.
Press freedom, go fuck yourself.
Libel, defamation, and counterterrorism laws to go after reporters who shine a spotlight on corruption and abuse.
Vanessa Beeley's going to be on with us on Sunday to talk about exactly how the UK is doing that and used her as a test subject.
Last year, nearly 20 countries passed overly broad and vague laws related to the COVID-19 pandemic, which they have used to crack down on journalists.
The nerve of this dude to say overly broad and fake laws on the COVID-19 pandemic. That's you, buddy. That's you. That's your house. You're describing the place where you live.
Under the pretext of combating misinformation, media websites and journalist social media accounts are increasingly blocked, censored, or restricted in other ways. And some governments are cutting advertising
He's quite literally describing what they do to us every single day.
for independent media outlets that they see as critical, deepening the economic pressures on these publications. As a result, many outlets have shut down, consolidated, or been acquired by government or corporate entities. The number of news deserts around the world is growing, depriving citizens of the accurate, trustworthy information they need to participate fully in civic and political life. Journalists, advocacy organizations, and foundations are doing everything they can to push back, but they can't do it alone. At the Summit for Democracy this week, we're asking governments to make concrete commitments to strengthen free, independent media and help tackle the diverse challenges that they face. Today, I'd like to highlight 4 ways the United States is doing that, among others.
Ooh.
First, we're increasing protection for the free press here at home. In
How?
July, the Department of Justice adopted a new policy to stop using subpoenas, warrants, and other investigative powers to obtain notes, work products, or other information from journalists engaged in news gathering activities.
Because they don't have to anymore. Because we have pre-crime, we have a brand new suite of hacking tools. There have been story after story after story of all of these Unit 8200 connected Israeli spyware firms that are selling products to governments and law enforcement agencies that bypass all of those pesky First Amendment and Fourth Amendment things and bypass, well, civil rights and civil liberties and all of the basic precepts and tenets of law. So this is some straight up narrative management bullshit. By the way, Glory Jones and I have a document that we're going to be going through over the next couple of weeks. And there is another Event 201 like simulation that's going to be taking place. We're going to be fucking busy. So please do, guys, if you can, throw a couple of bucks our way so that we'll be able to do this shit. Back to the fucking look. I swear to God, man, maybe it's just something on the screen. Looks like a fucking. Those are not human eyes.
Activities. Second, at the summit, we are announcing significant new investments to support independent media in financial peril. We'll make the biggest contribution by any government to the recently launched International Fund for Public Interest Media, an innovative new initiative that provides assistance to at-risk independent news outlets. The fund will be administered not by governments, but by an inclusive group of independent, well-respected journalists, media, and financial experts.
Okay, pay attention to that because it's important. What he's saying is that the United States government has formed a public-private partnership to protect journalists. I'll play that little bit again.
At the summit, we are announcing significant new investments to support independent media in financial peril. We'll make the biggest contribution by any government.
Independent media in financial peril. The U.S. government and corporations are teaming up to save independent media. Don't you feel better? Don't you?
To the recently launched International Fund for Public Interest Media, an innovative new initiative that provides assistance to at-risk independent news outlets. The fund will be administered not by governments, but by an inclusive group of independent, well-respected journalists, media, and financial experts. In addition, USAID will announce the launch of a Media Viability Accelerator, which will bring together media outlets, business advisory groups, and the private sector to make independent press outlets more sustainable, focusing on data sharing, technical assistance, and financial services. These new efforts will come atop the $236 million President Biden has requested in the 2022 budget to support independent media around the globe, a more than 40%.
Just like we have supported independent media outlets like Radio Free Europe and Radio Free Asia. I'm gonna pull away from this for a moment and take a look at the international blah 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 media group people. We do it live. We do. The International Fund for public interest media. Who we are. Let's see who they are. Luminate. Oh, there's a video. Maybe I did not hit share audio. Do you have actual human beings? Ooh, there's a strategic plan. Do you want to go through it? Our people. Yes, our people. That looks incredibly inclusive. Does. The CEO is dead ass named Stephen King. That's hilarious. So I'm going to take a little bit of time to figure out where these folks came from. You can read more about our portfolio here. Okay, but who funds you? People. No. Do you actually have a list of donors? Nope. All right. Well, that's going to take a little bit of digging, so I'll come back to that. What time we got? 8:22. Should have John in the next 10 minutes. I invented a drinking game where every time you see a white male on TV in a commercial, you have to drink. Everyone pretty much stays sober, though, so it's kind of boring. I mean, fuck, dude. I almost feel like the way that marketing and advertising has gone, Bill Hicks, I was 100% correct in that bit, but I think that he's driving the industry, like he foretold the industry's killing of itself. I do. I don't drink, so it'll be an easy game for me. I already won. I did. Now that's the Hillary shit. So I'm gonna say, okay. Let's do this. This greasy fuck. Adam Schiff. If you guys recall, over the last several years on the show, we've talked pretty extensively with some very knowledgeable people, including Eva Bartlett and Dan O'Brien, about the Obama administration's love of neo-Nazis, especially the Ukrainian kind. How much the Obama administration adores actual Nazis and not just the people you think are Nazis, which basically just means if you're on the left and somebody disagrees with you and you're on Twitter, then they're automatically a Nazi. But real, dyed in the wool SS Totenkopf patches on the fucking military uniform, group formulated post World War II with CIA seed money Nazis that the Obama administration propped up, armed, funded, put into power. Those Nazis. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. There's been some shit this week, dude. It's been a long week, and we had to do a whole ass show on it. Anyway, Adam Schiff, this greasy fuck, went on TV and just let it all out, just dropped it, told everybody that still 2021, nearly a decade into it, more than a decade into it, I think, the U.S. is, well, you'll hear him. I'll pull the clippy clip. Adam Schiff, fuck, man. Is there a bigger clown, piece of shit, CIA fucking garbage individual
The United States aids Ukraine and her people so that we can fight Russia over there and we don't have to fight Russia here.
One more time. We'll do that again. We will.
The United States aids Ukraine and her people so that we can fight Russia over there and we don't have to fight Russia here.
Adam Schiff doing his best George Bush. I mean, he was really, and I maybe he goes on into that speech to be like, I stared in the eyes of Putin, and I hate us for our freedom. The royal family, they're all Nazis. Missy, they're all Nazis. There's that great picture of the queen and the as a kid doing the fucking Hitler salute, and all the little kids doing the fucking Hitler salute. They're all that whole fucking dude. Hitler was a tiny, half Jewish, brown-haired fucking Austrian goon. The Aryan thing, I mean, in terms of like bloodline and who might actually be able to claim that they're more, that's the royal family, dude. That's the fucking, of course they're Nazis. World War II was about relocating the capital of Rome. The fucking centralization of power, resources, absolutely nothing to do with fucking, well, not nothing, but very little to do with the actual atrocities that occurred. That's never let a good tragedy go to waste. Excellent. Well, hey, returning to the show, former Redacted Tonight correspondent, host of Take Your Pills Psychopath podcast, who's doing a great live streams on the YouTube channel as well. John F. O'Donnell, welcome back to the show. How you doing? Good to see you again.
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Man, I'm hanging in there. I am.
Yeah.
I've been saving some pain for when you got here, but I think we're gonna wait until we go over to Rockville. I do want to know though, have you seen any of the clips of Hillary Clinton reading her own acceptance speech from 2016 in 2021, reading it and then like breaking down and fake crying on camera?
No, I haven't seen that, man. Oh my God. The arrogance to think that you could do something like that, to feel like that's okay. Oh my God.
They gave her a masterclass course. She's teaching a masterclass course. In fact, I'll tease the longer clip with this because I shit you not, man. If you count to like 3 or 4, I'm not even going to pull audio for this because I don't want to know what corny ass music they're using. If you count to like 3 or 4, that right there, this image, this still, this is really all I want everybody to get from the 15-second clip is this image. This is what hell's reception area looks like. This is hell's lobby. Maybe hell's bed and breakfast. But I mean,
my fellow Americans,
this is just gross. She's the master class that she's teaching, okay? What they're ostensibly paying her to do, or what she threatened the executives of Masterclass with compromising photos in order to be able to do, is to teach a masterclass on her life. That's the masterclass.
Ugh. I mean, the idea of being like, hey, here's how you be a massive war criminal, neocon freak show, neoliberal monster, who isn't even working on their own behalf, who is working on behalf of God knows what sort of international policy agenda setting organizations, how to be a great, good globalist, and then lose an election to Donald fucking Trump.
I guarantee you that this is not the case. But wouldn't it be fucking awesome, John, if she was like, okay, so here's how you kill 50 fucking people and get away with it. You know, like
Exactly. Here's how you have a murder list and still get to teach a master class at the end of it.
right next to Bob Woodward, who is telling his masterclass students, cultivate a source at the NSA or CIA and get them to plug a hard drive into their computer. Never mind, that's what we sent Chelsea Manning to fucking prison for almost a decade for, and tortured her. Never mind the Julian Assanges of Belmarsh. Is what I want my masterclass students to do. Now, what kind of fucking like bored wealthy wine mom taking Bob Woodward's class is honestly going to cultivate a source at NSA? I mean, like, how safe of a position is that for him?
Yeah, that dude. Yeah, that dude is just such a like. What would you even call him? Just like a limited hangout whistleblower? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he had some greatest hits back in the day, and revealing Operation Mockingbird. That seems like a big deal to me. But he's just become this crazy establishment figure that he somehow. How does that happen? How do you get co-opted into the establishment like that after being such a whistleblower? You know, I think about like what's happened with Chomsky being this supposed to be this voice of dissidence on the left, and how he's kind of come into the fold. And I guess he's always been also been a limited hangout in the respect that he would never, really question anything around 9/11 and stuff like that. So it's sad to see, but you're right. Who is the audience for these master classes?
I mean, okay, so there are going to be like 5, maybe 10 day drunk women in Hillary Clinton's class, and then the rest of them are going to be like very affluent gay men. That's Hillary's fan base. Like, from what I can tell, from living in California for 15 years, from fucking living like right next door to Silicon Valley and having people that are part of the community yell at me every day about it. That's
Yeah,
maybe
I think that's a fair assessment. But what is the narcissism level of Hillary Clinton? Can't you just go away? Just go away. Just stop. You lost that election. You're a monster. You're still trying to like pop your head up and say certain things and be relevant. You're done. Just go be a grandma. Just go be a grandma and stop. You don't need the money. It's just all about vanity.
She's really like one step away from doing what we're doing, from like having a podcast, hanging out on YouTube or some shit. Like, really, like, she's gonna from here. The only place further down for her is like the TEDx talk circuit.
Hillary Clinton gets a Rockfin channel.
I don't even know if they'd let her on.
I hope they wouldn't. I hope that they wouldn't. That would be amazing. They shouldn't. I mean, she is a freaking straight up war criminal. I mean, there's so many instances of it. What she did in Libya alone is truly disgusting and insane. That country is now there's open slave markets in that country. It's completely awful. And there's so many more instances. I'll be honest with you, Steve, I slightly have like social media brain going on right now because I've been tracking my goddamn viral tweet. And I'll tell you, it's like,
congratulations on that, by the way. But feel free to pull it up too. You just have to remember to hit the share audio button, or I will, because it's good stuff.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that at some point, and I'm happy to have this happening. But I swear to God, dude, the dopamine drip situation is like messing me up. Like I can't focus on other things because I have to separate away from the notifications. But at the same time, I don't want to just separate away from it because I'm actively like DMing people to try to get them to keep amplifying it. You know what I mean?
I get it. I do. So if you don't know, the clip that we played, was it last week or last weekend? I can't remember. No, it was
It was
Saturday.
last
It was
Saturday.
Saturday. Because that's when the Epstein survivors rally was, and that's where Chris Hedges gave a very epic speech, which you filmed, and that's the clip that's gone hella viral. I'll check in on that. What's it up to right now?
We're getting close to 400K views.
All right.
Pretty good.
All right. Let's see if John F. O'Donnell can get 500,000 views on that video today. That'd be cool.
That would be dope.
Cool.
But you know what? Like, I mean, there were folks at the rally standing tall, but the rally was not as well attended as it should have been. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Hedges was fierce on the mic and really speaking truth to power. And I'm glad that clip got out there because it's gotten a lot more amplified than what was going on at that rally. You know what I mean? So whenever someone quote retweets it or anything like that, I'm very diligently, copy and pasting the Hedges article that essentially shows the entire speech. So it's basically become like, it's been I wouldn't say a full-time, but like a part-time job right now, just like managing this feed. And it kind of messes me up from focusing on other things. And it just shows how fucking evil and twisted social media is. And I can't wait for this thing to max out so then I can escape from social media. And I have this like fantasy of going to a flip phone. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's so easy. It is. I have one. I have a stupid phone too, but I don't really go anywhere with it. I stopped taking my phone with me unless I have to drive, and then I turn it off and like throw it in a fucking copper box. But when they started talking about like, oh yeah, Gavin Newsom has a snitch army and contact tracing and stuff like that. Like I understand that my phone is tracked in a lot of other ways, but I'm just not for this. I'm not even going to play anymore. No, go fuck yourself.
Wait, Gavin Newsom has what?
Well, when they announced the contact tracing program.
Oh yeah.
On the West and East Coast, and Gavin Newsom like was straight up like almost Nazi about it. There we go. And whenever
do I have to play it?
You have to.
I play it on
yeah,
mine?
you push play. I don't have control. I have volume.
Okay,
control,
I got
but
you.
not- Yeah.
I got you. Here we go.
Obstacles that society has placed before them in their pursuit of justice. The trial of Ghislaine Maxwell will not hold to account the powerful and wealthy men who are complicit in these assaults. Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, hedge fund billionaire Glenn Dubin, former New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson, former Secretary of the Treasury, and former President of Harvard, Larry Summers, Steven Pinker, Prince Andrew, Alan Dershowitz, Les Wexner, the billionaire CEO of Victoria's Secret and Limited Stores, J.P. Morgan banker Jess Staley, former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak, real estate mogul Mort Zuckerman, former Maine Senator George Mitchell, Harvey Weinstein, and many others.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's a pretty good screw you to those people, man. It's a huge fuck you to them. What was I gonna say? It's interesting with on the feed that there's a bunch of people that are going nuts being like, well, yeah, all of this, but there's no proof of Donald Trump. He shouldn't have started with Donald Trump. He's showing his political stripes by starting with Donald Trump. They just can't let it go. It's like, you're telling me this guy, Donald Trump, with countless rape charges against him, the grab him by the pussy guy who's friends with Epstein since the 80s, was partying with the guy forever. He's
mentored by Roy Cohn. Donald
there you
Trump.
Go.
Mentored by Roy Cohn.
Yeah. Speak a little bit more about Roy Cohn.
So Roy Cohn was like part and parcel of the child rape trafficking operation going back to the 1950s. He got his start as a political dirty trickster and influence manager at the right hand of one Senator Joseph McCarthy of Wisconsin during the House on American Activities Committee hearings. That's when Roy Cohn came into politics. He became very, very good friends with the Reagans, but he was an influence peddler and kind of a cleaner, and just a fixer, and
And he
was
was Donald
super.
Trump's mentor.
He mentored Trump. He was super tight with Les Wexner. The Cohn was one of the people responsible for either the yacht that belonged to Jamal Khashoggi's brother or the Manhattan apartment.
Wow.
Yeah. Cohn is the guy who introduced Epstein to Bill Barr's father and got him his first teaching gig. And Cohn also took Donald Trump under his wing and brought him out into the world as the media and real estate mogul that people thought he was, and not the fucking permanently in debt fucking rich kid who would be more wealthy now if he had never spent $1 of the $100 million his dad left him.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, at the very least, there's enough circumstantial evidence that that Donald Trump should have to, be part of a deposition or something like that, and the fact that people are just defending him left and right while also being like, whoa, Chris Hedges is calling all these names out. This is great. But, he really lost me when he named Donald Trump. It's really kind of like, it's pretty pathetic.
It really is. There's like some switch, a default mechanism for people who have bought into the whole team sports thing, or bought into the concept of like a political figure will be able to save us. And for some reason, that political figure is a Hall of Famer, and the WWE, like that's who you're going to go with. That's the guy from Home Alone 2.
Yeah. The game show host.
The game show host, the reality TV game show host, who was a vaccine salesman and a real estate settlement broker for Benjamin Netanyahu. That's your guy? That's your guy.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
yeah. And who also signed an act into power, signed the CARES Act that led to $3.8 trillion of wealth upward, the biggest transfer of wealth out ever in the history of the world, gutting the middle class.
Yeah, printed $20 trillion in 2020 alone. $20 trillion. The hyperinflation that Joe Biden has inherited is a direct result from the fact that the Fed, from August of 2019 to now, has pumped out nearly $30 trillion. And again, 20 trillion of that in 1 year.
That's so crazy. And I feel like there's a lot of folks, let's say on a faction of the left, that don't seem to care about the inflation thing, or don't seem to see it, or don't seem to understand the economics of it, which is really problematic, because like people are feeling this pinch of inflation. It is real, and it is a lot of working people that are feeling that. So the fact that there's people that don't really see that that's happening, or can't accept it, it's really weird to me. Like, I feel like at one point I kind of was like, oh, maybe this MMT thing is valid or something like this, that modern monetary theory thing. I think I kind of got sucked into that, and being like, oh, the idea of inflation, the economy is really is so robust that it can really fight off this inflation sort of thing. But now I just see that as kind of bullshit.
So I understand pretty well the cult of Grumbine and the cult of MMT. I do, and it is a cult. It is. Make no mistake about it. It does describe, on its face, all it does is describe the way fiat currency works post Nixon shitting all over Bretton Woods.
And I think that explanation is valid. I think that explanation is interesting.
Yes, correct. Where it gets super religious is when they start thinking that we can just spend our way into the future, because by the lore, the 26 trillion or 29 trillion that we're currently in debt is just, it's not really debt. It's a sign of how much money the US has created. And because every tax is collected represents a dollar spent. It's all this whole fucking thing. But they've got it to where like time and space don't exist anymore, and people don't exist anymore, and it's become almost this weird technocratic, like there's a keyboard solution to this. The solution to the financial problems, all of the problems of the world, John, are mere keystrokes away, and just a couple of lines in policy, and that's all it's going to do. Individual and outside influences aren't going to be able to keep up with the joy that these keystrokes will bring. It's some shit, dude. It's like they lose me every single time and then get super fucking mad. Super mad.
Yeah. They are very like militant in their take on this thing, and it doesn't. I mean, I guess it doesn't make sense. The explanation of fiat currency post Nixon taking us off the gold standard, that's a good explanation. And the idea that and realizing that our tax dollars don't actually go towards funding the government, that's an interesting thing to realize. Where it's just like because that basically the Fed just prints the money, and that's the money that's used. And then when we're taxed, it's just taking money out of the system. So there's not too much money in the system. And that's what allows inflation to, but it's like, okay, that's how that system works, which is interesting, which means that taxation really is theft, which is what they're sort of exposing there. But their solution for it, which means to just flood everything with more fiat dollars, doesn't make any sense.
No, and it never will, because you're always going to have forces that what they're forgetting is that, okay, you can keystroke capital into existence, but the people who control capital don't have your plans for that money. And you are not going to be able to legislate them into obedience, because they're the people that decide who the people in perceived power are.
That's very well put.
I mean,
that's very well put. That makes a lot of sense, because honestly, what they want to use the money for is the Green New Deal. And the Green New Deal is a Trojan horse for techno-fascism.
Yes, it is. And oh my God, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and no, I'll save that for when we jump over the right. Let's put a pin in that, because I did want to talk about the Navy thing while we're still here on YouTube, and while we can put this out across all platforms.
Absolutely.
And then for the last like half hour, 45 minutes, we'll wild out on some Rockfin shit. But in the title of the video, it says the Navy Flints Oahu, because that's kind of how I feel about it. I didn't realize you could turn Flint, Michigan into a verb, but here we are.
Yeah. This is a messed up story, man.
It really is. I want to give a shout out to Mike, who is in Hawaii and has been hitting up a bunch of different content creators since the story broke to get some coverage on this thing. And we've had full queues the whole week. I'm sorry I couldn't get to it until today. But I'll play the clip, and then we'll go from there. And hopefully there's not like a 40-second ad. Yep.
Sophisticated homes with modern
That's
interiors
about what I thought.
in Ward Village, a vibrant Honolulu neighborhood on the South Shore. Beautiful parks.
It's pretty wild. They're showing like how beautiful Hawaii is. We're about to do a story about how contaminated the water is.
That's hilarious. Yeah, no, that's perfect. That's we do each and every day. It shows me we live in a fucking cartoon.
Demanding answers about what's in the water and where it came from.
And as the days drag on with no confirmation, the outrage is growing. We start our team coverage tonight with Allison Blair.
Local lawmakers question why it's taking so long to get any definite answers about what's in the water, saying it's absurd after the spill in 2014 that the Navy doesn't have the capability to rapidly test drinking water.
I'm going to pause that for a moment, because they did. They had a massive water contamination nearly a decade ago and did fuck all. Yeah, good stuff, Hawaii and Navy.
Here.
The need for accurate test results more quickly was brought up Wednesday night at a town hall hosted by the military.
The response from the Navy was it's cost prohibitive. But what's the alternative? The alternative is class action lawsuits by all of those people that are getting affected by the tainted water and jeopardizing the entire drinking system for this entire island.
Thursday afternoon, a group of local lawmakers who represent many of the affected communities criticized both the Navy and the state's Department of Health for inadequate and slow response.
So they're saying, the lawmakers are saying that if you want anything to come of this, you got to go through the court in a class action lawsuit. Isn't that like abdicating out the gate?
Yeah, it seemed the lawmakers seem to be so weak in the respect that even when I think there's a part where the governor was saying, "Hey, we issued you guys an order to empty these fuel tanks," and then the military figure was like, "Well, this isn't an order. This is something I will look at and take under advisement and then decide what to do." It seems like the lawmakers are playing second fiddle to what the military wants to do. It seems like they have control over the situation. It seems to be a lack of sovereignty.
Well, immediately after this, the state of Hawaii issued an order for them to like shut it down. You know, and the Navy, of course, went, no, we're not going to do that. I'll jump over to that story. I'm going to let the commercial on this play. I think that, oh shit, no, I got to stop it. Fuck you. I hate you, thing. I mean,
the military loves to destroy paradise, doesn't it?
It really does. It really does.
Test nuclear weapons in paradise. You know, it loves to destroy paradise. It's unbelievable.
Hawaii is strategically important. No, it's not. We saw the emergency landing maps.
Yeah. I mean, Hawaii was an accident. Hawaii has always been a colonialist project.
Well, I mean, from inception, right? I mean, wasn't it like essentially there for fruit and nut plunder? Like,
yeah, it's unbelievable. So yeah, this story is awful. It is the flinting of Hawaiian water, and it's getting marginalized coverage. I commend you for covering it for sure, for amplifying this, but it seems like, I don't know. It seems like that it shows that the military usurps the sovereignty of a state.
yeah, if you have a military base in your state, there's a significant amount of real estate around that too that also belongs to the military. So yeah, the state issues a shutdown order. The Navy's like, nah. This is a great quote. Informed Secretary of the Navy Carlos de Toro Monday that the order was coming to cease operations and remove the fuel in the storage tanks at Red Hill. They're underground storage tanks, like in between a causeway. And so this is what the Secretary of the Navy said. It's not an order, it's a request, and we're taking it seriously and engaging in a series of conversations before I decide to take action.
Dude, the balls on that guy. That's crazy. Yeah, he downgrades the order to a suggestion. A request. Yeah.
It's got a history. It does. 2014, they leaked 27,000 gallons out of this thing. In 2020, there were 2 more spills from Red Hill. There were 3 spills this year, the biggest one being a couple of weeks back. And then, yeah, this is the only reason the Navy even had to jump on this is because the people who were living on base were like, hey, the water has an oily sheen to it and it smells like gas when I turn on my sink.
Yeah, and we're getting sick. We're actively getting sick from using this water.
So I actually don't. I will check with Mike to see if there's any way that like anybody can throw out a little bit of assistance if you're in a position to do that. And then now I think we'll make the jump to Rockfin or ludicrous speed. I would prefer it.
Cool.
And let's see. So the link is in the chat. You do not need an account on Rockfin to watch this live stream. Just click the link. If you want to participate in the chat, you can make your free account. That is FREE $0. And if you love what we do, you can endorse the show. It's $9.99 a month. You get all of the paywalled content on the entire platform for that one $10 a month fee. It's a great way to support your favorite content creator and get access to all of the stuff that you normally would have to pay for individually at about the same price. So we will see you in hell, YouTube. My dog just straight up rolled off of the bed and onto the floor again. Yeah. He got